Hello all you wonderful, beautiful people. Thank you so much for clicking on my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my personal top 20 favorite Black Sabbath songs, or at least my personal top 20 favorite Black Sabbath songs from the Ozzy Osbourne era. Being from the Ozzy Osbourne era does not necessarily mean that Ozzy sang on these songs. There could be one or two instrumental songs in these top 20, and there's at least one song that Ozzy Osbourne did not sing lead vocals on this list, but it just means that he was in the band when these songs were written and recorded and put out. As for the Ronnie James Dio era of Black Sabbath, for the sake of my own sanity, I will leave that to another video. And like all these videos, this is just my opinion, so if you disagree with me, feel free to let me know what your top 20 favorite Black Sabbath songs are from the Ozzy Osbourne era in the comments below. God, that was a mouthful, but I got through it. So without any more delay, let's just get straight into this. And coming in at number 20 is Hole in the Sky from Sabotage. This song has a great riff, and you're going to hear me say that a lot of times during this video because Tony Iommi is the riff lord. I also really like Geezer Butler's lyrics on this one. It's something else you're going to hear me say a lot. Geezer Butler himself seems like someone who was always very aware of the world around him and wrote lyrics for the most part that dealt with that world. I always really appreciate that socially conscious mindset from a band. Add in that this song is really groovy and Ozzy Osbourne is just wailing on the vocals, and you've got number 20. Coming in at number 19 is It's Alright from Technical Ecstasy. This is the first of two songs on this list that don't have Ozzy singing on them that are still from the Ozzy Osbourne era. Bill Ward sings on this song, and he has an absolutely beautiful voice. As much as I love the dark, doomy, heavy sound that Black Sabbath is most famous for, I feel like sometimes that can overshadow their broader musical sensibilities and just how diverse they were as musicians. This song is a great example of that. It's basically the answer to the question of what would happen if Black Sabbath did a Beatles song. So for that reason, I think It's Alright is a really great Black Sabbath song that more people should go listen to. Coming in at number 18 is Planet Caravan from Paranoid. This is another example of just how great Black Sabbath could be when they were being more mellow and psychedelic in their writing. I love the eerie vocal effect on Ozzy Osbourne singing in this track, and just the overall ethereal quality it has. It really does feel as though you're floating through space. The whole spaced out vibe to this song is just perfect. It's nice and chill. This doesn't really have anything to do with the song itself, just sort of a story I have about it. Years ago I was visiting Ireland for the first time, and I was so excited. I had been up for about 30 hours straight because I could not get to sleep. As I was flying into Ireland, it was pitch black outside. The sun was just starting to rise. I could see the coastline for miles, and I was listening to this as I was watching that, and being delirious from sleep, the psychedelic and amazing quality of the song that I had already really loved, and just seeing the coastline of Ireland all through the horizon as the sun was slowly coming up was just a really cool experience. And yeah, I mean, I already loved the song before that, but add that on and of course it's going to make it onto the top 20. Okay, and coming in at number 17 is Killing Yourself to Live from Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. I gotta be wearing this shirt for some reason. The lyrics of the song describe the grind of working a job you can't stand for year after year because that's what you need to do to make a living. And I'm sure I can't be the only person who relates to that. In fact, I know that the majority of people can. On a happier note, I really love the guitar tone Tony Iommi uses in this song. He uses this effect that I'm not quite sure what it is, whether it was in the recording process or whether it was a pedal, but it's a unique sound that he doesn't use on any song before or after that I'm aware of. Add in an excellent double-tracked guitar solo and a change of feel later on in the song, and of course it deserves to be in the top 20. Coming in at number 16 is After Forever from Master of Reality. For this song, all I have to say is that riff, oh my god, you guys. That riff, you guys, oh my god. Tony Iommi is the riff king. It's amazing. It's the best. And on this song in particular, the entire band just has a energy, just so much groove, so much aggression, but also kind of fun. The band is all just on point with this one particular track. And on a side note, all of the songs on Master of Reality, the production-wise, I think it's the best production that Black Sabbath got in their early years of capturing the raw era, their more early stuff. I remember in Tony Iommi's autobiography, he talked about how it was really hard to find producers at the time who understood what they were going for trying to get a wall of sound, because no one had ever made music like this before. And on kind of a ridiculous note, given the lyrics of this song, I think it's safe to say that it is without a doubt the best Christian rock song of all time. I mean, it has agnostics and atheists like me banging their heads along to it, so, I mean, once again, that just goes down to that riff, because Tony Iommi is the riff king of kings. Coming in at number 15 is God is Dead from 13. Yes, a song from 13 is actually on this list, and I don't know if people will agree with me, but I stand by saying that I think God is Dead is one of the best Black Sabbath tracks they've ever put out. Musically, the bass on this song just growls like a monster. Geezer Butler got such a grungy tone for this song in particular, and Tony Iommi does a great job of knowing when to hold back and when to push forward with his riffs in this song. The lyrics dealing with someone who has to come to terms with the massive contradictions in the world and what they were taught as a child versus how they see the reality, and trying to reconcile those two are done really well. Also for this song in particular, but for the album as a whole, I feel like I have to mention how good of a job Brad Wilk does in stepping into Bill Ward's shoes as a drummer. Having to follow up such an incredible drummer like Bill Ward and step into the defining metal band after they have had a 40-year-long career where they have had hit after hit, and having to play on their last album must be an impossible task for nearly any musician, but Brad Wilk does a really good job of stepping up to the plate. Speaking back to the album in general, God is Dead in particular though, it's really nice to hear Black Sabbath with a more modern production. Some of their older stuff, as much as I love it, it doesn't quite have the fullness, the richness that we've come to expect from modern heavy metal, and this is closer in line to that, so it's nice to hear. I stand by saying that God is Dead is up there with a lot of the classics for them. Coming in at number 14 is Black Sabbath from Black Sabbath. Did you hear that thunder? Right as I say Black Sabbath, Black Sabbath is the song that made heavy metal, and I think the atmosphere on this track, even today, is still pretty goddamn scary. The rain, the bells, Ozzy Osbourne just wailing about some demon dragging him to hell. And honestly, I don't know what else I can really say about this genre-making song other than I am so grateful it was made, because it gave us this genre of music that we all love that has made my life so much better. I mean, it invented heavy metal. It's a pivotal moment in music history. And yeah, that's where it is on the list. I don't feel like I have much more I can contribute other than that. Coming in at number 13 is Iron Man from Paranoid. Another song that had to be on this list that everyone's heard a billion times that helped to make heavy metal. The only thing that I think I can really add to this is that as much as the intro riff is great and all that, I like the lyrics, the thing that gets this track so high up on the list for me is the last 2.5 minutes of the song where Bill Ward just starts going ham on the drums. So, you know, just like with Black Sabbath, the song Iron Man, I don't have much I feel like I can contribute to it other than it's Iron Man by Black Sabbath, so of course it's going to be in their top 20. Coming in at number 12 is Fluff, also from Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. If you haven't heard Fluff, it's a soft acoustic instrumental song where Tony Iommi really gets to show how good of an acoustic guitar player he can be. And the reason the song is so high up for me is because it's just so unbelievably beautiful, and I really appreciate how they took a chance with releasing a song like this on an album with an album cover like this. I also really love the instruments they chose to go along with what Tony Iommi is playing on the guitar, especially the percussion. And there's just so much going on in the song, it's really impressive. Every time I listen to it, I pick up on something new. Once again, I feel like maybe Fluff might be one of those songs that some people hate, some people love. I don't know exactly what the consensus is from the fandom on this, but if you want to hear a Black Sabbath song where they really get to show just how amazing they are as musicians outside of heavy metal and outside of like doom and gloom, go listen to Fluff. It's a really amazing, peaceful, beautiful instrumental song, and I fucking love it. Coming in at number 11 is a National Acrobat, also from Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. With this song, Tony Iommi is once again showing us why he is the riff emperor. The song just sits back on his main riff, lets it groove, it keeps going, he adds in a few layers of harmony, and it just is something that you have something good there, so why not just sit on it? Ozzy's vocals on this song are also particularly great. I've mentioned before how I just love how he improved with every album, and with this song in particular, he's singing at a pretty high register fairly comfortably. He's able to wail and get a little bit of a tension there, but he's doing it with such control that you know that he's become a much more accomplished singer. He just kept getting better. Another thing that stands out to me about this song is the line, "Just remember love is life and hate is living death." I always love that. I think it's a good little thing to remind yourself of from time to time. And that line in particular is just a great reminder not to spend your time lingering on things you can't stand, because you're just wasting your time. Focus on what you love. Focus on what you enjoy. Coming at number 10 is The Thrill of It All from Sabotage. Being a guitar player, I love how this song just starts with a bluesy, riffy solo section for about the first minute. I mean, it's not like I'm biased because I am a guitar player or anything. That's just something that I think is peak quality songwriting. And this song does a great job of mixing Black Sabbath's darker inclinations, their more doom-laden vibe, with the more swaggering Led Zeppelin-esque vibe they had going for some of their albums. It's one of those songs that is a bit more of a deep cut, but I think it stands toe-to-toe with any of their other songs. It's pretty good. Coming at number 9 is Under the Sun from Volume 4. This song just has a great, sludgy, doomy intro riff, but of course that's to be expected because, as we know, Tony Iommi is a riff demigod. When the feel changes and the verse kicks in, Bill and Geezer lay down a really great swing feel. I always love whenever Black Sabbath just changes the feel like that on a dime. And as much as I love everything I've mentioned about the song before, the reason the song is so high up is because of Bill Ward's incredible drumming when it gets to that fast section. The snare rolls he's doing at that speed are so clean, and the two drum fills in particular, one I think at about 2 minutes and 15 seconds in and the other at around 2:45, are so seamless. They just have such an amazing feel, and they sound really hard to play. Ozzy Osbourne does mention in his autobiography how long it took Bill Ward to record the parts to this song, and they sound amazing. Coming in at number 8 is Symptom of the Universe from Sabotage. I love that Black Sabbath wrote something that is borderline thrash metal back in the 1970s. It's also another amazing showcase of Bill Ward's talents as a drummer. Hearing Black Sabbath switch to once again a more jammy, bluesy, acoustic vibe for the last 2 minutes of the song, something that was once again more in line with like what Led Zeppelin was doing at the time, is something that I love. I love that they just would mesh these two kind of styles in the same song and not care what people had to say about it. I just really love Symptom of the Universe, and not just because of that riff. The entire song is great. Coming in at number 7 is Children of the Grave from Master of Reality. This song is an iconic Black Sabbath track for a reason. Like always, the riffs in this song are insane, and Bill Ward's drumming gives this song so much more movement and so much more forward momentum than it would have if he was playing just a standard like backbeat. He's playing the standard backbeat, but then he also records that fill that he's doing for the intro, and it's just little things like that that bring this song from great to incredible. Speaking of incredible, these might be Geezer Butler's best lyrics. The lyrics to this song have always reminded me of a Native American proverb I heard as a kid that goes something to the effect of, "We don't inherit this earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children." And I love that, although maybe Geezer Butler never heard that proverb, but he definitely has the same sentiment in his mind when he was writing these lyrics. The lyrics are just a great reminder of how children and people who had no say in creating the world they were born into are often the people who have to pay the biggest prices for the mistakes of other people who came before them. Themes and lessons and ideas to think about like that are why Black Sabbath is consistently one of my favorite bands. Coming at number 6 is Electric Funeral from Paranoid. A great, eerie, doom-laden song with a simple riff that's super effective and once again highlights how Tony Iommi is in the riff pantheon of gods. You know, like in ancient Greece, they had a bunch of different gods. If they had that for guitar riffs, Tony Iommi would be one of the people up there. I keep joking about Tony Iommi and his riff divinity. I'll make a few more stupid jokes like that before this video is done. But I just want to make a point that I think that he cracked a really good formula with his writing, where he would leave space in the song and space in the riff so that you can soak it in, so that the hits have more impact than they would if he had chosen to play more notes. He leaves room for the rest of the band to come in, and I think that's why his riffs are so memorable. He kind of had it down to a science. Add in another random tempo change and a completely different feel for a little bit that seamlessly transitions back into the original tempo and back into the original feel after Bill Ward does an amazing drum fill, and of course this song's going to be on the list. Coming in at number 5 on this list for me is War Pigs, also from Paranoid. It doesn't matter that this song is pretty overplayed, it's War Pigs. It's possibly the greatest anti-war song. We all know the lyrics by heart. We all know the song by heart. I don't have much else to add other than it's War Pigs by Black Sabbath. And coming in at number 4 is Lord of This World from Master of Reality. The bass on this song sounds incredible. The band is so unbelievably tight. I remember listening to this particular track after I had recorded some music with a band of my own. And I was really, really proud of the stuff we had recorded. I thought it sounded amazing. I was so excited about it. And I was like, this is just incredible. You know, I don't know like if we can do better than this at the moment. Our songs we worked really hard on. And then I remember listening to this song after we had finished recording for the day and listening to how tight Black Sabbath is on the song and how every single instrument is practically hitting at the exact same millisecond. And I just thought to myself, wow, we need to up our game. Now we're down to the top 3, and these 3 songs are just, for me, really difficult to express how much I love them, but I will do my best. Coming in at number 3 is The Writ from Sabotage. This is both an insanely aggressive and heavy Black Sabbath song, while also being very layered and progressive and peaceful at times. Ozzy really wails on this song, and the lyrics, which are a giant fuck you to their former managers, really fit the tone of the music. Something else that kind of sets this song apart is the start of it, where it begins with just this demonic laughter. I also really love the section beginning at 3 minutes and 40 seconds into the song. The riff that Iommi lays down and Ozzy Osbourne singing over that riff is one of the greatest moments in metal history. Towards the end of this song, we get a completely different feeling than the beginning of the song. You have Tony Iommi playing an acoustic guitar, possibly a 12-string, Bill Ward playing some percussive instruments to add a more almost Pink Floyd vibe to the song. And it's that kind of experimentation, that kind of mixture of the dark and the heavy with the psychedelic and the progressive that I absolutely love. Coming at number 2 is Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, the title track from the album Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. Forget everything I've said about Tony Iommi being a riff king or a riff emperor or being in the pantheon of riff gods. Forget all of that. Tony Iommi is the one true riff god, like Old Testament style, and this song proves it. And Tony Iommi is not content to just leave us with one incredible riff for a song. He has to give us at least 2. 2 of the most gnarly riffs you'll ever hear. Oh my god, I wish I could have had a chance to see Black Sabbath perform this song live. I cannot imagine how heavy and mind-blowing this must have been to people who heard it for the first time in 1973. All these decades later, and it still holds up pretty well. This song is one of Ozzy Osbourne's best vocal performances. Not his best though. I think his best vocal performance of all time is actually the number 1 song on this list. Coming in at number 1 is Megalomania from Sabotage. This song, oh my god, I don't even know where to start with this song. There's so much about it that is incredible. The first time I heard the song, I was just driving around, and the second it came on, I tilted my head and I went, oh, that sounds different, because it has just such a different sound than any other Black Sabbath song from the Ozzy Osbourne era. It just sounds so much more polished, even compared to the other songs on Sabotage. There's just something about it that instantly stands out and kind of makes you take notice. Megalomania has every single great ingredient that goes into making an amazing Black Sabbath song. I mean, this song has an incredibly eerie start, has an absolute banger of a riff right after a random tempo change, has layers upon layers of guitars, has Bill and Geezer doing insane fills in the background, and then towards the end even has some keyboards playing a counter melody, strings adding more warmth to it. There's no acoustic guitar, but there is a really cool piano section. Ozzy Osbourne's gotten a lot of flack as a vocalist over the years, and I think that because he is such a larger-than-life presence, and he's such an iconic person in pop culture, people can forget just how amazing of a singer he was. If you've never heard this song, you might not even recognize it's Ozzy singing at first, because he sounds so different and so incredible. And on this song in particular, he is just right up there with any other amazing singer from his era. Ian Gillan, Robert Plant, any of them. He is doing stuff on this song that is mind-blowingly insane. For Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath in the 70s, I don't think it gets much better than Megalomania. So hopefully you're feeling really inspired to go check out some deep cuts of Black Sabbath, some songs that you haven't heard in a while. But before you do that, let me know what your favorite Black Sabbath songs are in the comments below. And if you like this video and you want to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff, I know it's a cliche to ask, but it really does help and it's greatly appreciated. And once again, thank you so much for watching. If you want to check out any of my other videos, there's probably links popping up here. If not, feel free to click on the channel. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and take care. I hope to see you at the next video.